we need to talk about sunscreen. So sunblock and other products with SPF are one of the best ways we can protect our skin from UVB rays, which are responsible for sunburns and can cause the type of damage that may lead to skin cancer. But I don't want you to use just any type of sunscreen.
That's because most conventional sunscreens use certain chemicals, like oxybenzone or oxynosate, to block ultraviolet or UV rays from your skin. When you take a dip in the ocean, apply spray-on sunscreen at the beach, or shower off after your fun in the sun, those chemicals wash off and can end up in our water systems, where they can harm plant and animal life. An estimated 14,000 tons of sunscreen enter oceans around the world every year. The chemicals in sunscreen can inhibit photosynthesis and the growth of green algae, which by some estimates create as much as 30 to 50% of the oxygen we breathe. Seems kind of important. Fish reproduction and fertility are affected, and fewer eggs hatch after exposure to these chemicals. The World Wildlife Fund calls seafood the largest traded food commodity in the world, and about 3.2 billion people rely on fish as a healthy protein. And chemicals from sunscreen can have a profoundly negative impact on our coral reefs by building up the coral's tissue and causing bleaching, changes to DNA, deformations, and even death. A major study backed by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration specifically identified benzophene 3, also known as oxybenzone or BP3, as a major hazard to the health of coral. But chemicals aren't the only things that affect coral reefs. Climate change, pollution, overfishing, and invasive species also threaten these ecosystems. But keep in mind, we're losing our coral reefs at an alarming rate, and we need to do what we can before it's too late.
These ecosystems are extremely valuable, and not just environmentally, generating about $375 billion annually. Coral reefs are a source of food, they bring in money for tourism, and they protect our coastlines from ocean waves.
Without them, we'd likely see a lot more property damage and fatalities due to bad weather. Chemicals from sunscreens can even affect dolphins because it threatens their food supply.
Consider the fact that the chemicals from sunscreen also seep into our skin.
And the FDA has only recently proposed that we should be looking into whether or not these same chemicals that harm marine life also pose a health risk to humans.
But we do need to protect our skin from the sun.
The American Academy of Dermatology suggests that everybody over 6 months old should be using a sunscreen with SPF 30 or higher.
But instead of using sunscreens with harmful chemicals,
we can choose mineral-based, non-nano sunscreens that use zinc oxide or titanium dioxide and use lotions that apply directly onto the skin rather than a spray.